10% of Meta's overall profit from 2024 came from scam advertising.
More than 2.4 million cars on the road right now have fake mileage, and the problem is getting worse.
We have a warning about a relatively new scam that's draining bank accounts of thousands upon thousands of dollars.
So today we got another installment in the scam series on this channel. To be honest, we're going to be a bit all over the place because we have a ton of different scams to go through, along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's start off with yet another example of somebody getting tricked into thinking that they're talking to a celebrity online.
This woman left her husband when she thought she was dating actor Dacre Montgomery. See what happens.
He tells me that he's Dacre Montgomery. That's like one of my favorite actors. And me and him just really hit it off. But of course, I'm suspicious from the get-go until he starts doing things that make me believe that he is who he is. I am obsessed with Stranger Things. Billy is just this bully. He kind of comes in, tries to dominate, which is totally unlike his actual personality.
What's the reason that you guys aren't able to meet face to face?
Well, see, okay, that's one thing that we actually bonded over. And basically through the relationship, he was venting to me after a few months about his partner.
Okay, so we're cutting it off there. You know where this is headed. I just have to go back to what she said. You know, he was a bully in the show, but that's not like his real personality, even though you weren't actually talking to him. But we could go over to the comment section. How are people still falling for this? Almost 90,000 likes. Thank God me and Zendaya have never had this issue. Oh man, I can't believe Catfish got canceled. That show was peak. And especially in today's world where they're rebooting everything just to get some more people to watch, I'm amazed they didn't immediately bring it back because apparently it was canceled in 2025. I feel like you could get a pretty sizable audience watching people who think that they're talking to celebrities, because this is becoming increasingly more common. And the other thing that I'd like to add on to it, I know everybody's probably thinking of the Brad Pitt AI scam, where a woman in her mid-50s gave away $600,000 or $800,000, I can't remember, to a scammer. And everybody starts saying, you know, that's what could happen to old people. I'd never get tricked, but I don't know about you. She didn't look that old in the clip. And we got another picture up on screen that goes very well with this. Just thinking about the one time I went to McDonald's and gave the lady at the drive-thru my debit card, and she asked me for the PIN, so I gave her my debit card PIN. And she looked at me like I was stupid, and she goes, "I wasn't talking to you." And then she proceeds to give me a lecture on how I need to be more careful about giving that kind of stuff out. Again, not an old person on the screen. It does not matter what age you are. Everybody's getting scammed in today's world.
Hey, just a horrifying heads up. 10% of Meta's overall profit from 2024 came from scam advertising. So if you're on Facebook, Instagram, or anything like that, and you think, oh, I'm going to purchase something. Don't!
I assume that 95% of what I see on social media is either a scam or AI, and to be clear, Meta knows that they're scams, but are obviously choosing not to remove them because they are so profitable. I worked in the fraud department at a bank. Facebook ads were half of my calls. And we have a perfect example in the next clip of what kind of scams you would see on social media.
This Lobster Lady account blocked me, so I couldn't tell you that they're AI. But that didn't stop me. This sob story format is really popular with AI scams right now. Even as a black woman, I have more faith that white women will save. This is not run by a black woman. Just like that's not a real Republican, that hat. Why is she making the bags at the market? And the tent structure is extremely messed up if you look closely. This links to lobsterbags.com, a website that was registered 4 days ago, so we don't know where it came from. The website looks a lot like the dragon bags that I talked about a few days ago. I wouldn't be surprised if this is run by the same company, and that's why they preemptively blocked me. These aren't real products. The handle is sticking straight up, defying physics. In this one, the number 14 is repeated twice, and here that ruler doesn't make sense. It goes from 8 to 0 to 11, and these are just made with Nano Banana. They have Synth ID watermarks, which you can ask Google Gemini for to prove that these aren't real. Even though they're joking about it, you could literally get a lobster bag that looks like this if you order from them, because there's no sign that anything is real here.
The belt buckle girl is the same setup. Henry Coleman 17 as well. Yep, the Save My Horse Farm or my grandpa's slipper business are insane. So there are a whole network of accounts in various different niches that are basically running the exact same scam. But in today's world of social media swiping, nobody actually looks to see if anything is real nowadays. You just read a headline, pay attention for a couple seconds, and swipe on to the next post. And that's how people are getting scammed out of a almost $100 bag that'll never come.
More than 2.4 million million cars on the road right now have fake mileage, and the problem is getting worse. According to new data from Carfax, odometer rollbacks have jumped by 14%, with an estimated 2.45 million vehicles in the United States currently showing incorrect mileage. That is a massive problem for used car buyers because obviously mileage is one of the biggest factors determining a vehicle's value. When someone manipulates an odometer, it can make a car appear far more valuable than it really is. Carfax estimates that odometer fraud costs American consumers over $1 billion every year, and in many cases, it can inflate a vehicle's price by around $4,000 or more. And when it comes to modern digital odometers, well, they haven't eliminated the problem either. And in some cases, scammers now use electronic mileage blockers, small devices that plug into the vehicle's electronics and prevent miles from being recorded while the vehicle is being driven. The fraud tends to show up most often with older used vehicles or cars that have changed owners multiple times. I know it's a big thing in kind of the exotic scene, but that's why experts recommend always checking a vehicle history report and looking closely for gaps or inconsistencies in mileage records, because when the miles aren't real, the problems hiding underneath, they usually are.
I'm a victim, but lawyers don't want to take my case on a 37,000 mile rollback. This is basically every car on Facebook Marketplace. I got scammed in one car I bought that had 63,000 miles. I started having issues with it, and the mechanic said they shouldn't have the issues with the miles on it and recommended me to do a Carfax. I found out my car has 278,000 miles. I feel like the interior by itself would show the wear of the vehicle as a whole, so I don't really know about that one, but it's still happening with brand new cars. It's not just the older ones you have to look out for now.
We have a warning about a relatively new scam that's draining bank accounts of thousands upon thousands of dollars.
It is powered by AI, but in a way we haven't seen until now. Nydia Han joins us in the studio to explain how the scammers are pulling this one off. Nydia.
Yeah, this is crazy, you guys, but it is our new reality. You might remember this movie, The Truman Show. Jim Carrey plays Truman Burbank, a guy who doesn't realize he's living his entire life on a big soundstage for a reality TV show. Well, this newest scam is called the Truman Show scam because criminals create an entirely fake AI world and have unsuspecting consumers step right into it. It begins with a message inviting you to join an investment group that promises great returns.
That then takes them into a group chat on Telegram or WhatsApp. And this is where the Truman Show reference comes in. The entire environment or group chat that they come into is completely AI generated. There's no real people in it.
Another person saying who's falling for this, I mean enough for it to be on the news. As soon as anyone mentions Telegram or WhatsApp, I assume it's a scam. Honestly, so do I. If anyone is promising you money, it's a scam. And we got a comment from you guys right here. I'm from Romania. I have a friend who sent all her money to some scammers because her bank account was apparently in danger. This kind of stuff is truly never ending. But now we could get into the MLM portion of this video.
This is how much money my husband and I spent when we were in an MLM for 9 years. Weekly, we spent $100 for a babysitter for training session we went to every single week. The first of every month, we had a subscription to buy products. We weren't really buying products, we were buying points. The standard was 300 points, which equals $1,000. 5 times a year, we had conferences that were $100 average each ticket. Then we have the hotel room, let's just say average or on the low end, $300 for the weekend. Flights or gas, we always drove because it was cheaper. Say $200 for gas. Babysitters on the low end because they were like friends to us. We still want to pay them, so we gave them $350 for the weekend. So that's what $1,050 per conference 5 times a year. So that's $437 every month for the conferences. Trainings were $10 a person. $250 a month for a subscription to some apps where you can message each other within the group and listen to audios, like podcasts. $100 a month to buy books for us to read, but also to give to other people. Every person that we interviewed that was potentially going to become a part of the team, we give a book to.
Okay, I'm cutting it off here. This video goes on and on. Apparently, they spent $30,000 a year in Amway, and they did it for 9 years. They lost almost $300,000. I've legitimately never seen an Amway product in anyone's home, neither have I. And then we have this whole story in the comments from somebody trying to defend it. I'm in Amway right now, you guys. You don't have the patience and drive to be able to be successful. And I think the reply perfectly sums it up. Oh, you're 19. You'll learn one way or another. Because I actually have my own experience when I was 19 years old, when someone I knew tried to get me into the whole Amway scheme as well. But we'll take a look at a couple clips first.
I mean this so disrespectfully. When are we gonna give it up with the MLMs? So let me set the scene. I'm getting my nails done. Cute, right? I love my nail lady to pieces, okay? I'm getting my nails done. I'm chilling. I'm watching Law and Order. I'm having a great time. And somehow we get chatting about my back, the chiropractor, this and that. And she said that she used to go to a chiropractor, but it was so expensive. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, it's crazy. And she's like, yeah, I ended up getting this machine. It's good for it. It was like $3,000, but you know, it lasts a lifetime, and you know, it's in place of the whatever. And I'm like, oh damn, that's quite the machine, right? Anyways, so we're yapping. She go back for it. She goes, yeah, you can use it on your face too. And I'm like, well, how could you use something that you use on your back? I'm like, what kind of machine is this, right? But I'm like, again, I'm trying to relax, get my nails done. So I'm like, okay, I'm letting her, whatever. So I'm letting her talk about it. I'm listening. I don't think anything of it because I'm like, who gives a shit, right? It's small talk. I don't think anything of it. Next thing I know, pamphlet in front of me. What do you mean? What do you mean you're trying to now sell me an MLM back machine?
When did we stop calling them pyramid schemes? Why are there MLMs at farmers markets now? And MLMs still existing in 2025 is wild.
When I was 19, my best friend, who I met in high school, invited me to an event for his new business. He invited me to the office he was working at. And I watched as presenter after presenter told an amazing rags to riches story. And during the meeting, I took out my phone and I looked up the name of the company that was being presented to me. And I saw countless reviews saying this is a pyramid scheme, scam, etc. I'd only been exposed to this company less than an hour before, and I had the same feeling. Something didn't seem right. Afterwards, my friend came up to me and he had this look in his eye and he was like, so when are you gonna sign up? And when I got home, I called him and I said, you know, I looked up this company and I wanted to share some of the things I heard about with you. I don't want you to get hurt by this. And what I was told back was, you're just like everyone else. You don't believe in me. They told me you would say that. And that was the end of my friendship with my best friend of the past 4 years. And it was my introduction to the world of multi-level marketing.
My best friend of over 30 years doesn't speak to me because I told her with proof about Primerica, never even heard of that one. Many lost their minds to Amway in my hometown. And there's another person who just said Amway with a question mark, and the creator hearted it, so that's probably what he was talking about. And I had a pretty similar story as well. When I was 19, my group of friends would always go out and play soccer, you know, pickup games, night games, whatever. But there was one night where a kid that we played with that we weren't very close friends with invited us to a presentation in somebody else's basement and said that he just wanted to show us a couple things and then we could go out and play. And they proceeded to give all of us, which was like 10, 15 people, all the BS Amway pitch. And even back then, 19 years old, basically knowing nothing about the real world, nothing about business, I immediately knew something was off. This was super shady. So obviously I didn't take part in it whatsoever. And needless to say, some of the people who did sign up in my hometown do not work for that company anymore, after they ended up inevitably losing a ton of money. So that's the end of my MLM portion of this video, but I wanted to also show you guys a couple accounts that I see online pretty often that I consider to be a scam. 3 things I did to be more profitable as a reseller. Number 1, not being scared to buy new products. There's a lot of competition. Don't sell the same thing as everyone else is. Be different. Well, initially, if this was legitimate, you would need products that people would want. So in the end, many people would be selling the same stuff. If you bought random items just to be different, nobody would want them. Number 2, taking high quality photos. This catches attention and makes the customer confident in purchasing. And number 3, consistency. There's nothing more important than staying consistent. So when we head over to the description of this account, they have a link to personal vendors. And if you don't know what that is, especially all the pictures that we saw with the luxury items in the background, these people buy high quality counterfeit items and sell it to others. This is illegal. Some of these accounts say that they tell customers that they are replicas, others don't at all. So it's just 100% a scam, and it's not even just the luxury bags. I've seen accounts talking about buying fake AirPod Pros and GoPros, I mean random electronics. So if you've seen any of this kind of stuff online, please steer clear. But we got another one up on screen right now. Be careful of fake apartment approval pages and companies. I was scammed by 2 companies from TikTok. Don't do CPNs. It's not worth it. And going straight over to the comment section, yet again, there are a ton of people doing this. There's another one that's scamming people. Her name is Goddess Approval. Atlanta Best Approves is another scam too. I swear, this series will go on until the end of time.
Remember the PPP fraudsters from back in the pandemic? Well, apparently they're still out getting got. Because who would have thought stealing from the government would not lead to some serious criminal charges? So meet Scott Lee Huss, a 28-year-old content creator who built a massive online presence with more than 3 million followers under the name of J.R. Yako. His entire brand was, about wealth, travel, and that whole alpha male Chad lifestyle that you see. So as everyone knows, back in 2020, the government came to a complete halt because of the pandemic, and there they made a whole bunch of programs that enabled business owners and normal people to get some sort of relief. As we've seen time and time again here on this channel even, a whole lot of people extracted a whole bunch of money for their own personal gain, and they spent it on Lambos, Ferraris, and everything that you can flex on Instagram with. What makes all this so much worse is when he finally was arrested, his legal defense involved declaring himself a divine being, demanding a $10 billion bond, and insisting that the United States court system had no power over his flesh and blood.
Yeah, okay, man, have a fun time in jail. I made a couple videos about the PPP loan frauds a long time ago, and it's still funny to see people getting busted for it today. Even though the government moves as slow as humanly possible, if they want to get their money back, they will. We got another comment here. Not only do we have to worry about scams, but we also have to deal with personal data breaches, and I feel like that's probably what happened with this next clip.
At 90 years old, Irving Rosenberg moves slowly. Walking is difficult. His hearing is impaired. But the hardest thing he's dealing with now isn't his health. It's the loss of nearly everything he saved over a lifetime. Rosenberg says the withdrawals from his savings account began in April. Check after check, all in the tens of thousands of dollars, adding up to $814,000. Rosenberg says he never wrote checks from that savings account and never authorized anyone else to either. When he realized what was happening, he went to the bank, Wells Fargo, looking for help.
They put it to investigation. Investigation could go forever.
Rosenberg's nephew, who now helps manage his affairs, contacted 7 on Your Side and asked for help. He says when he looked at copies of the cashed checks, he noticed right away the signature was phony.
If you look at all the checks that were written, none of them even have close to his signature.
Rosenberg received this letter from Wells Fargo. The bank said it's denying his fraud claim and that he can't be reimbursed because too much time had passed before he contacted the bank.
So just like that, over $800,000 is gone. I know this one's definitely a generational thing because people around my age use banking apps a lot more, and you'd obviously see the balance every time you use it. And that wasn't the case for him, so all of his money ended up getting drained from checks. Now this next one's a bit recent with a big streamer. If you've ever heard of Kai Cenat, he basically did a 180 on his personality and got super into fashion and has a clothing brand. And of course, somebody took advantage of his fans and scammed them all.
Congratulations to Kai clothing brand almost being sold out. Is what I would say if he actually dropped clothes. You guys are getting scammed by a fake website. And they already deleted the website, bro. Y'all let a fake website take y'all money. You know it's not all y'all fault because these blog pages were posting it. It seems like y'all forgot that you would have got an email from the official website if clothes had dropped. This is some random page that somebody probably from another country created and you guys have been giving your money to. So a lot of y'all really paid $210, $160 for jackets that you're never going to get. And even though I want to clown on y'all for actually believing this, it's the blog page's fault. They were reposting the website and all. Now some random dude just made a quick, easy 100K off y'all, probably more.
So that's going to be a ton of fun having to deal with all of those chargebacks. But this next clip is a bit similar with one of those hypebeast brands, technically not scamming everyone who bought, but they know exactly what they were doing.
2021, a company named Mischief released a basketball signed by Michael Jordan for just $23. The website even said that each basketball would come with a video of Michael Jordan signing it. So the basketball sold out almost instantly, but there was a catch. The balls really were signed and the signing video was real, but when people got their basketballs in the mail, there was a QR code on the box leading to the video, and that's when people found out who it was really signed by.
Hi, I'm Michael Jordan. Thank you for buying my autographed basketball.
So I mean, this one to me is kind of funny because even if you got it, there's no way you actually thought that this was going to be 100% legit. I'm pretty sure a signature from the Michael Jordan that we all know would cost a lot more than $23.
So we just had a trucker show up to take a BMW, and I'm going to tell you why we didn't release the car to them. This is the BMW that did not go. The company we booked it with is Angel Express. Now, companies will often rebroker stuff. We're not okay with it. This is the company who showed up to pick it up. Obvious red flag, not the same company. Well, they had a bill of lading for the vehicle under Angel Express. They did subcontract it, double broker it, whatever. The problem is this vehicle isn't listed on Angel Express's insurance policy. The other issue is this company has 417 different inspections with the DOT, but the company's only been in business 2 months and only has 1 truck and 1 trailer registered to their company. So how do they have 417 inspections? Because they're super shady. Company's registered out of Illinois. Truck was plated in Ohio. I know people register their trucks and trailers in all sorts of different states to save on taxes, but typically it's the trailers, not the tractors. We are not sending the car with these people because we want it to actually get delivered to the client. And if there's a problem, we want the insurance to actually pay for the vehicle, which given all these issues, highly unlikely that we'd be able to have any recourse here.
I wouldn't doubt if they loaded it onto that truck, you would never see that car again. It would be taken for parts or go overseas and just gone. And that happens way more than you think. As a 30-year car hauler, I always tell people that their contract should be written so the company on the contract picks the car up and the same truck delivers the car. No swapping mid-delivery, because that's how it gets stolen. Don't trust any transporter with the taped on DOT MC info at all. It did not look official. If anything, it looked very shady. And transports get sketchier every year. Especially with cars constantly going up in price, it becomes more and more lucrative to steal one.
Don't fall prey to this scam that is incredibly common in Florence. Maybe you've already seen this, maybe you haven't, so I'm just gonna say it because I don't like when people get ripped off or harassed on their trip to Italy. I think it's a bad look and it's not a good time for anyone. So oftentimes these scammers will put fake art, like it's just garbage fake art that they probably print from some free stock website, and they lay it on the ground in highly foot traffic areas so that they're basically counting on people to not be paying attention and looking up and looking at all the sites, and then they accidentally step on the print and then they demand payment for it. So make sure if you're walking around, look where you're going and don't pay them if you step on it. Just run away.
Why would a country allow this to go on day after day when everyone knows it's a scam? And I feel like there's different variations to this in every single touristy country. You just have to be aware 24/7. And we'll finish off this video with a comment from you guys. I haven't heard from the Nigerian prince in a while. I hope he's okay. It's because everything else we've gone over today is way more lucrative than the Nigerian prince. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.